Okay, so one of the most critical things that we're going to have to do if you're building one of these, and I hope you do, build one or more, but there's a couple of key measurements. One is the distance from the floor to underneath the couch, and that'll vary. Like on this bench that's made for an RV, and I would suspect like mobile homes and so on are going to be like this. There's very little distance in there. Some I've seen have almost no distance, even on really expensive couches for full-size homes. Our couch at home has about a 2-inch distance from floor up. It's just the way they build them, right? This, I'm lucky if I can get to 3/4 inch underneath there. In fact, if I pull this out, it's tight. And you can see it makes it, but I have to be pretty careful. And then what's on there right now holding it is there's steel pipe in there. That's 3/4 inch steel pipe. And then inside, that's inside of copper tubing. It's 3/4 inch copper tubing. Well, 3/4 inch pipes fits inside of 3/4 inch copper tubing. The outside dimension of the copper tubing is actually 7/8. So by the time you add a 90-degree down here, it actually didn't fit. So I had to grind that off with a grinder. Otherwise, it would have ripped the couch. But so this one, 7/8, is the absolute max. And it would be much better with 3/4 inch or even slightly less. But I'll go with 3/4, and that's what I'm going to go on that. I'm going to go, and you might even have to, if it's hard to measure, like if there's carpet, it's hard to measure, right? So then use something that's 3/4 inch, slide it in and out, and if it fits just right, then you know you got it, and that would be your dimension. If there's a lot of space, then you can do other things with what I would call the foot. This is the foot, okay? Or this is the foot. There's kind of like a whole section down here that we're going to call the foot. But so that's one of the dimensions. So I'm going to jot down clearance, clear 3/4 inch or max. Then once you know that, then you have to decide how high this is going to be. And I need, like on this one, I need right now, I have from the base, I have 19 7/8 of clearance. And to be honest with you, it just makes it. Again, if I go here, it's tight, right? And it eventually might even wear on the couch. So I really don't want 19 3/4 on the new one. But I don't want to go too high either, because if you go too high and you're using a mouse pad, then what happens is you actually, it's like a tendonitis thing waiting to happen, right? Because you're kind of going up with your elbow instead of being flush. And so you don't want to go too high. So in this one, again, right now I'm at 20 clearance, not to the top here, but to the clearance from the floor up to under the top of the couch cushion. I'm going to go up to 20 1/2, and that would be just right. So I'm going to jot down clear 20 1/2 to underside of tray of, we'll call it tray 1, the main tray. This will be our main tray, tray 1, okay? So then it's a combination of what you put down here, what you add here to determine that. So if you increase, like right now, this piece that I have on here is 1.5 inches, and so therefore this piece was 18 inches. If I raise this from 1.5 inches up to 2 inches or 3 inches or 4 inches, then I have to tweak this one, the stem or the post, by that opposite amount, so that again they total 20 1/2 inches. So that is going to be part of the criteria I'll add into the design concept. And then width, it's going to be really up to you. I think the tray that I have is 13 inches. That's going to go on top of here, and I have a template for that, so I'm going to stick with 13 inches. Right now what I have is 12, and again, it's a little bit light. If I put my coffee cup right here, I don't have my cup with me, but if I put my cup here, then my mouse pad kind of comes over to, and it kind of it's a little tippy, so that I think that 13 inches is going to be just right for what I want to do here. And then that'll give me the mouse pad and that. So 13 inches is going to be my width. This one, I know the tray, let's go back to tray 1. This is tray 1 right down here. And again, this got too shallow. You can see my mouse pad just goes to the edge, and every once in a while my mouse drops off like that, and I don't like that. So whatever this is, I'm going to measure that, and then we'll go deeper than that. So the mouse pad needs to bump into this, whatever you have here, to hold it. And I'm going to do something different here, but anyway, so I only have 8 inches. So let's say that for the mouse pad, we need 10 inches total. And so tray one depth equals 10 inches. Now I've got enough room for the mouse, and it's not going to drop off. Plus, it's not coming way too far back in here, okay? This one, I know the tray 2, and this one is going to be 5.5 inches across. So right now I have almost 4. Again, this was done from rough sawn lumber, probably camping, so I didn't have a table saw, or may not have had one. I just used whatever I had. But I'm going to go to 5.5 inches, and which means it's going to actually come out this way a little further rather than going that way. But 5.5 inches by 13 is going to be that top tray. That way I can get all those slots in there that I want. So basically that's the design. Now the post that goes up, this particular one happens to be 1.5 inches by 4 inches. And again, that was rough sawn at a sawmill somewhere in Missouri in the Ozarks, I believe, or something like that. So it is what it is and was what it was, and I love it. I think this is a cool, really, really cool piece of wood, right? And the only thing I did to it was sand it, and then I routed around over on all the 4 corners. And I'm going to do the similar type of thing here. I looked for a piece like that when I was in Vidalia at the wood shop there. And I got a piece that I think is going to work just fine for that. So again, I'm going to do the math on that later as far as the height goes. But you do want to have this typically be at least 1 inch of material. So again, right now I have 1.5. 1 inch is a good number. It works well. I use that because I use my threaded tenons, and I have templates and guides that help me install tenons on a 1 inch material. So I'm going to try to go with 1 inch. But if it comes out to be 5/4, that's so what? That'll be fine. I'll be able to tweak that and it'll work. I wouldn't go much less than 3/4 because I think you're going to start to lose rigidity. So basically, that's the design layout for a sofa server. When I do one for our home couch, I'm actually going to make one even wider yet. It's probably going to go to like 20 inches or so. And then there's going to be even more cup holders because there we have the width to do that. And then my wife can sit on one side, I can sit on the other side. We have room for all of her stuff. I have room for all of my stuff. And so I can go wider on it. But because there's knockdown joinery on this, a lot of those parts are actually going to be interchangeable too. We'll cover that later. So that's where we're at on the design part. Okay, so then right here, what I want to watch for is my total clear height. Now, again, I wrote that under duress, so it says clear. I want to clear 20.5 inches from the floor to the bottom of my tray. So if I'm going to eat up 2 inches of that with this piece here, so I've got 2, call it 2, right? And I want to have a little bit of play. I took 20.5 minus 2 equals 18.5. So if I make my post 18.5 inches, then I'll get my 20.5 inches off the floor. So just to add a little bit of play, I'm going to make it 19 inches. And this is the piece that I have for, this is again, the sink or Cypress, right? And sink or swim, Cypress. And so anyhow, that's how I'm going to remember it. I've got a couple options. You know, I've got this goofy thing going on right here. Do I want that in my living room, basically, of the RV? Or do I want to take it from this end? Plus, I am only going to be limited to whatever height I have left. That's it, period. So right now, I'm going to go with 19 on this one. In fact, I'm not going to end up with much at all. So I'm just going to go with this and call it a day at 19.